and welcome to episode number 4. If we don't count the missing episode, the grand missing episode. Sadly, it will never be found lost in the archives because the bloody computer just froze up and died and deleted everything. Anyway.
I've got it on VHS.
Betamax.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, swiftly moving forward. Yes, this is the episode in which things happen. Oh yes.
Oh,
all
okay.
the spoilers. All the spoilers.
That's a
were
promise
in that
and a
one.
threat.
Yes,
Yeah.
promise and a threat. As a matter of fact, yes, our intrepid heroes find themselves hiding in the soap factory amongst the soap vats, having just rescued a gnome from certain doom. And yes, you know who they are. We know where you can find them, and if you don't know, look in the links down below, because that's where the stuff is. So let's carry on. Right, so what are the three of you doing?
Just a quick recap. We're hiding. We saw rhododendron
Rhodey for short.
Yeah,
Rhodey trucked into the vat.
Yes.
Used to cast magic to make it look like they dropped in. Splash. Nope. In fact, they've been sent back to Arkenvale.
Correct.
We are currently round a corner, but they are within sight. The Muse, and the Muse, Muse, Thisp, and what's the other person?
Muse Thrisp and
We
one of the dog's buddies?
Yeah,
We
George,
overheard
yes.
them
George.
about
George.
to exit,
George.
and
Okay.
Thrisp had said
George is
it's
on.
time to move to the next step,
Okay.
and someone is going to prison.
Yes.
Those are things we
Yes.
heard, and that, as far as they're aware, we're dead.
Yes.
So, does it sound like they've left?
It does,
Area.
yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm having saved so many lives today. It's very hard work saving so many lives. I am depleted somewhat. I think we should really utilise the fact that they think we're dead to try and find out what this next step is and who's going to prison.
Where would we go? There will be eyes on us if we left the factory. It will be very easy to spot if we were anywhere else. Maybe we should find a part of the factory that's not in use, some kind of, I don't know, storage room or something to regroup or catch a breather. But I feel if we leave the factory, we get spotted pretty easily.
Unless we leave by magical means.
There is that. We could, well, whoever has the resources could
Not me.
get us back to Arkenvale.
All the way back to Arkenvale.
With magic, get us back instantly, can't it?
I suppose so, yes.
Well, we need to be not in this corner.
We need to be not in this corner of the set.
What if
I had an idea.
Oh, yes.
If we could transport ourselves to Kilos.
right
Yes.
now you've not been there,
I've not been there. This would be the problem.
but I mean you might have looked in that direction.
You could take us to the street corner where his house is, and we
And
just
try and get as
tiptoe
close as we
around.
The problem
can.
is that we're probably quite high up the list on the sheriff's.
They're definitely going to notice us.
Yes. If we're going back to Orswatch town, we should probably be going back somewhere where we're not seen.
Yeah, we just need. I think
What
we
about
need
our
to make
rooms?
sure we listen. If we can be somewhere where we can over-listen
Mhm.
and drop some eaves, then we might be in a better position.
So
In the factory.
Maybe. Where's Thrisp gone now? What might he be revealing about his grand plan?
I'm gonna. Charlie's gonna tiptoe, clomp, clomp, clomp with the hooves, to the door where they all left at, and see where the paths go.
So
see
the
what they are.
vats themselves,
Mhm.
there are 12 vats arrayed in 3 rows of 4,
Mhm.
with a sort of metal gangway between each of those in a crisscross.
Yeah.
And then that communicates into the actual factory
Right.
with that door.
Okay.
And that door leads into the administration building.
Mhm.
There's another door which leads into the fat smashing room. Do you remember that room? Where there's
Oh,
pounding
yeah.
the
Yeah.
unpleasant. And that's where that goes to. Yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
There's no sign of them.
No, those doors are opening though.
Oh.
And 4 workers are coming through.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 humans. They're not paying particularly much interest because their job is, from your tour, to come and stir the vats.
Right. Okay. I go back to the others. Work is proceeding as normal. Maybe the fewer people that see us, the better. Let's move elsewhere.
Elsewhere in here?
Or
Or elsewhere? Elsewhere?
elsewhere. If we're going to stay in the factory, we need to get out of this room.
Try and get as close to Kilos, or even...
Yes, I don't know how much more there is to be learned in this factory.
Fair enough.
I feel like we've
Maybe
uncovered...
we need to find out more about Kilo and who his bride-to-be actually was. Why are they? Was there a reason that she got off, or was she just an unfortunate victim?
My only concern, great, I'm totally on board with that. Kilo followed us here? Where is he?
Somewhere mysterious.
Oh.
We hope.
Where is Kilo? That is a good question.
Can you, magic thoughty speaky thingy? Is that a thing? Is that
Yes,
magic?
I think it would potentially be a thing.
Right.
I think it would potentially be a thing. How tired I would be afterwards, and whether I would also then be able to get us back to Kilos is potentially up for debate.
Right.
It would depend how far away Kilo is.
Could I somehow assist you to think
Well,
to get us into Kilos?
What we might be able to do, according to my useful book of life that I always carry with me, do you have a medicine skill?
I do have a medicine skill.
We could spend a little bit of time utilising your medicine skills to refresh ourselves somewhat.
Right. So I've got
You can also use the medicine skill upon yourself.
Can I?
I believe.
I should do that.
Once per day.
Once per day.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for reading more than I've read.
According to this, once per day, and our benevolent GM can confirm or deny, once per day anyone with a medical skill can use 1 AP to restore 5 AP to themselves or any other character. Each character can only receive this once per 24 hours. It does take 5 minutes.
Correct.
So it would depend how safe we felt
How
doing anything here.
do the workers look like they're moving around a lot, or
They look like workers who have done this for the last 20 years and are literally just going to wander
Going through the
around,
Right.
stir the
Listening to a
vats,
podcast, chilling.
Yeah.
That one's listening to No Small Rules.
Wow. Right. Okay. Thanks, Ben. I'm going to spend an AP to get back 5 AP.
All right. Assuming that for 5 minutes nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So for 5 AP, you get your 5 AP back. 5 minutes has passed. The workers have stirred the vats. They're not looking particularly hard. None of them are willing to spend any action points whatsoever to see you. So 5 minutes passes. You've got your AP stack up a little bit.
Okay.
I could...
Would you like me to use
Do
this?
either of the two of you have medicine?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, good. So there we
Do
go.
you want me to bump you two up, or do you want me to get us to Kilo?
I feel like for the moment I'm okay,
Right.
but I think it might be useful if we get to the safety of Kilo, then I might make use of that skill.
I'm all right.
Okay. I'm going to pitch.
You can get us. Then you can get us.
I
Straight
can
to
get us
Kilo.
straight to Kilos. Now I have a bit
Perfect.
more.
Knowing that he most likely will not be there, but as long as we're safe, right?
Well, that's
Yes.
basically a safe.
All right.
I
That's the
can
plan.
try and communicate with him before if we want.
That he's probably that
It will
might be.
use quite a lot of resources potentially because he might be quite far away.
But we need
In
to know
theory, he should be somewhere between here and his house.
which is a mile.
Actually,
max,
I think he might just be out of my range.
Oh.
Stan, nope. I've had to think about how far I'd be able to communicate. I reckon the maximum would be about 500 feet.
Oh, never mind.
Right. Okay. Shall I do this?
Let's do this.
Okay. So, taking a last little look. Yeah. Gonna imagine where I was last night in his kitchen, covered in poop, and
I mean, I don't feel that detail is necessary to remember. but
No.
sure.
garlic sprout just really likes to get into the moment, and is going to create something that almost looked like the ground before, but it is a little bit of a different consistency of a hole
All right.
from that imagination.
All right. You spend it,
You spend it.
and you step through. And the three of you find yourself in Kilo's single-roomed cottage and see a very confused-looking Kilo who is currently wrapping a dagger onto his arm and looks as if he's ready to go to war.
Oh.
Wait, you're not dead? I saw you in the carriage going over the edge.
Well,
Good news.
I was. I thought very quickly on my feet, and I managed to save us in the nick of time. But we have information for you, unless you found out extra information that you can share with us.
I haven't got any extra information. I was just about ready to go and storm the keep and put an end to all of this nonsense.
I mean, that does sound very good.
Well, they obviously killed my bride-to-be, and then I thought they'd killed you three, and I thought, well, enough's enough.
Oh, you did that for us. Oh, Kilo, you are
I'm
good.
touched.
Well,
Very
I was also
brave.
hoping that they killed me in the process to end my pain and suffering, but
Oh, Kilo, we
I
need
thought
to
I'd
get you
take out a
some-
couple of them with me.
Yeah, no, it's you've had such a tough couple of weeks, haven't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
it has been rough.
Right. Well, we tell them everything we've learned, or Sprout does. Garlic Sprout
Yes.
does,
Yeah.
because Kilo
Fill
is
him
the
up.
only
Right.
person, apart from these two, that Garlic trusts in this place right now.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with the worms? He says
That
at the very end.
is the question.
Mm.
The sheriff of this town recognised the worms. I could
Oh,
tell.
that's odd.
So he's seen them before, or he knows of them.
Yes.
They're involved somewhere in this town, but I've certainly found no evidence of them at the soap factory.
Has there been any incidents that you know of people who use the soap, the newly, with its new ingredients, that have become a bit different behaviour?
He thinks, no one really. There has been a bit of a shift in terms of like, for example, Muse. He used to be a lot more engaging.
Right.
Come round to the pub for a drink on a Friday, that sort of thing. He's sort of pulled back on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Clivet certainly has been a lot less nosy than usual.
Even worse at his job.
Well, we didn't used to have a huge amount of crime here anyway. But yeah, well, yes, he seems to turn a blind eye to things. Like when I raised the fact that the carriage had only had a single occupant coming in every single time, he didn't seem perturbed by that fact.
So it's like they've lost their spark.
Yes, to a degree.
Like they're being drained,
Or controlled.
or both.
Or both. Like the other driver.
Who allowed himself to be fed upon by Olivia.
Correct.
But she had worms. Didn't
She had worms.
She had worms.
Did the dead driver, have worms?
No.
No. Okay.
She had worms and the horse,
The horse
had worms.
But I don't know if that was just a freak creature or if the worms did that. We're not sure, are we?
We haven't seen any other worms, have we, at any other point? No. Those are the only two.
Maybe we need to talk to Clivet, see if we can't get something else out of him.
But you showed him the worm and he didn't say anything.
He reacted like he'd seen it. But that was it.
Could we bluff him out? We know.
The problem is, if he's being controlled, I don't know how much we'll get out of him.
If everybody thinks we're dead, can we pretend that we're ghosts, and then Clivet will be really scared because we're haunting him?
I look around for sheets in Kilo's house.
I mean, if we're going to confront him, we have to do it quick and then move against the factory immediately.
The problem is, if we confront Clivet, we're giving away
Exactly.
our ace card, potentially,
Of us being dead.
being dead. If that's something we wish to utilise, then...
How persuasive are you, Cleo?
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. My mouth stopped working. How persuasive are you?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm not particularly.
oh. Who was your wife to be? Was she very important?
To you
me,
will be the
of
most
course.
important
Yeah,
person in the world,
Yeah.
of course. But
Well,
You
not
know.
the most important person. We were an arranged marriage.
Oh.
I'd only met her once before when she was 9. I was 9 at the same time. Our families were trying to build a better alliance, I guess. But then ours fell out of favour, I suppose you could say. And, well, we kept up the betrothal because we've been writing letters to each other every single day ever since, I guess. And she was coming here to finalise the deal against her parents' wishes.
Oh, really?
Well, they weren't particularly happy because she wasn't going to inherit anything.
And what family did she come from?
Her family? Her family name was Volstein.
Holstein.
Anyone with culture can spend a point if they want to know what that is.
Yep.
The Volstein family are quite a famous, very powerful family because the Volsteins are the family that runs Olka True's prison.
Oh.
I love it.
And if it's not impertinent to ask, you were from a family of some note, reputation?
We were the guard at Arkenhold Castle. My father was the captain of the guard, as a matter of fact. And we had been in the family for generations, as a matter of fact. And then there was some disfavour with the Lord of Arkenhold, and we were dismissed as a family.
And the Lord of Arkenhold was?
We'd know that, wouldn't we?
Is
You
that,
would, yes.
is that
Grathan.
Grathan.
Lord
Is
Grathan.
Arkenhold part of
Arkenhold Castle.
Arkenhold
here.
Castle.
That's not our person, is it?
No.
So Arkenhold Castle is up here, and it controls the whole region with Arkenvale down there. So Arkenhold is here, and you've got Orca Prison here, and you are currently Allswatch down there.
And it was Lord Griffin.
Grathan.
Graffin.
Grathan, yes.
all the notes?
Yeah.
All of it, yeah.
And the last time we heard about Arcatruze was the tattoo on Olivia, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, marking her out as someone who had been.
Oh,
And if the bride-to-be's parents were not happy with her, she was marrying against their wishes.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
And is that a supply chain from of prisoners from Alcatraz to come to Allswatch to literally make a difference in loss between harvesting the dragon by using prisoners from Alcatraz all the way down?
Maybe.
And employing escaped prisoners as the
Volunteers.
volunteer couriers. So the Lord of Arkenhold dismisses the guard, so no witnesses. has the prisoners run the racket or the business all the way down to Oswatch. The grand conspiracy. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the way my brain works.
I think we're missing a few chains in the evidence link.
No, it's Pepe Sylvia. He doesn't exist. Pepe, guess what? Pepe does not
Harold's brain
exist.
is just a pinboard full of red string.
Copper's just slowly.
Good morning.
Pepe Sylvia is running the the post office racket. No, I haven't fully thought this through.
Right, so a couple of important family connections. And her family were not pleased that she had run away. Did she tell them where she was going? Or?
I think they knew that she was coming to me.
Yeah.
Her last mail that I got from her several months ago was that she was planning on basically escaping from her family in Arkenvale, and that she was coming to finalize our betrothal of quite some time, and that she had some very important things to tell me.
She knew stuff.
Do you have any idea?
She had quite a good knowledge on botany.
Oh, really? Oh, I hope she is still alive.
Oh wait, not botany, biology.
Oh,
She studied animals and things, I think.
Well, it's quite adjacent. So she knew stuff. She was coming to tell you stuff.
Well, we had lots of things to talk about.
Well, right, of course.
Was any of that hinted at in your correspondence with each other?
No, not particularly. She never liked her parents. She thought her father was cruel. She hated the idea of the prison. She thought there was better ways of doing things, but no one obviously would listen to her. But I can't think of anything particularly that was of importance.
What's her name? Sorry, I didn't realise we were talking about her in the third person.
My wife's name?
Yes.
Her name was not supposed to be. Yes. Yes, we did laugh about that she was going to become a tool. But then that's been in the family for a very long time. So, no, her name was Holland.
Holland.
So there are potentially reasons why somebody might have wanted to have disposed of her.
I don't think her parents would want it that badly. I mean, they didn't like me, and they didn't like the fact that she wasn't going to marry into a big family anymore, but I don't think they'd go so far as to kill her.
All right.
Do her family have enemies?
The Velstein family are a very old family and have run the prison for generations. I am sure they have thousands of enemies, but they have always triumphed and prevailed. They have very good security.
I wonder, just to float a theory, that perhaps she was an unfortunate target for a revenge attack on behalf of an ex-prisoner.
Could be, although no one knew that she was leaving the town. She was doing it under secrecy because her parents had forbade her to leave.
Wait, what? No, I've misunderstood something.
Talk it out, Charlie.
Right.
Talk it out.
I only thought so. Holland leaves Arkenhold.
She was in
Arken-
Arkenvale.
Oh, she's in Arkenvale. Never mind. I was thinking of somewhere else.
Yeah.
Arkenhold Castle.
I thought she was leaving there to come to Oldswatch, but I thought
she left
here
and followed the same road that you followed.
Exactly. I misunderstood. I thought she was coming from there here, and then I thought the transport was only going between these two places. Never mind. Never mind. Pepe Sylvia's dead.
Who? Do you keep on saying?
It's the only
Silvio.
Pepe Silvio is the only Sonny reference with the guy with the string.
Oh, is that who
It's
Pepe
only
Silvio
yeah.
is?
There's the mailroom conspiracy with the red string.
Because I've been like going, is this a new tick?
No.
Is
I
was like, what is?
It's a
oh,
reference that's not
cool.
useful. Don't
There we
worry
go.
about
But
it.
then also it's good for the viewers if they didn't know, if they was done
If
like
they've
this.
seen Only Sonny, they've seen the
Context.
meme. They
Yeah.
get it.
We'll learn
Yeah.
something today.
We have learned something.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Okay,
I can't make heads or tail of this right now.
we do
How
need
does this fit together?
we need answers.
What's
We have-
missing? What don't we know?
Okay, well, that's a good question. We don't know. Well, I mean, this could be a very long list. We don't know if we want to be on the edge of this map.
Oh, no.
We don't know the connection of the worms.
Connection of the worms.
I have a theory, but it's unproven. Go on.
So, what are the worms doing? How widespread are the worms?
Yes.
Are the worms involved in anything happening in this town, or is the worm involvement separate? We
Right.
don't know that.
Worms.
We don't know Olivia's connection.
Yes.
Is she helping supply the town soap factory
Mm-hmm.
deliberately and siphoning off a little blood tax on the side, or is she a
Coincidence.
coincidence? Is she making the use of a convenient supply chain that's been set up on someone else's behalf?
That doesn't seem likely though, because she came every single week with the
Yeah.
carriage.
Yeah.
There is a lot, like there was a lot that they weren't using of dragon fat, and that is now being made up with people fat.
People found.
That's a regular
a regular supply chain.
supply chain.
And we know that supplies in the town may be running a little thin if they're running out of convicts and people who won't be
Drunkards.
missed so much.
But they've probably run out of prisoners. But running out of prisoners by now.
Precisely. So they're having to bring people in from Arkenvale.
Our beloved city.
I know.
We
So
know
well.
so well.
So many years of my life spent there.
But she also, yeah, absolutely
So-
could be too regular.
So she is potentially taking a tax, but what exactly is her involvement? Or maybe her involvement is to ensure that the cargo arrives safely in one piece, minus a little bit of blood, potentially. We don't know.
Wait
This-
a minute. If she was she would have been to the average volunteer quite a formidable opponent.
Yes.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Blaze rubs his shoulder where the knitting
Oh.
needles went in.
And if you think they're being taken to the factory,
If you haven't seen them in town, if the carriages have been
certainly
arriving
the
with...
carriage has always arrived empty.
Yeah.
And you think they're taken directly to the factory,
Potentially.
Yes.
Or to
somewhere
have
else.
it. Maybe, yeah.
The factory workers don't strike me as being killers.
No.
No.
No, that is a good point.
No.
Although we did overhear them about to kill someone and we saved their life.
Well, that was the...
That was George, Thrisp, and
Trisp
Muse.
and Muse. We know Muse knows of bodies going in.
Yes.
Muse is not a killer.
No.
At least not the Muse I know.
No. They.
So they need to kill these individuals first.
Well,
Yes. Unless the
they-
time that George threw a body in was a one-off. He said he's throwing live bodies in there, didn't he?
Oh, live bodies. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I was thinking, well, perhaps maybe that's what
But-
Olivia's job was to kill them before they arrived, so then they just had to boil them down.
There might be some who've gone in live, and the majority might have gone in pre-dispatched.
Yes.
So it's
It's
possible. that-
certainly the ones that are in Muse's mind are the ones that went in alive, because that's
That would stick in your mind.
that would stick in your mind
Would stick in your
and
mind.
your nostrils.
And it's possible that Muse hasn't been around for all the bodies going in.
No.
Sure,
Right.
the man isn't supervising every single moment of operation of the factory.
Exactly.
He's got windows to smash.
Perhaps the bodies are supposed to be going in dead, but a couple have been alive. That's when Muse found out, and that's where his fear of Thrisp is coming from.
Yes.
Well, he's seen the
Well,
truth now.
You
Well-
said they were trying to kill rhododendron.
Yeah,
Well,
He's-
yeah.
because rhododendron had...
He's, I think, very aware that
Oh, very well now.
live bodies go in.
Now, yeah. But yeah, he tried to, under Thrisp's orders.
But if potentially Olivia has been pre-dispatching some bodies,
maybe. Or
taking
maybe,
a little tax
yeah.
on the side, and then
I think we need to either talk to Clevet and see if we can try and get this information. But if Clevet is somehow being controlled by Thrisp, because it feels like Thrisp has really got his hands in all the poise, that maybe talking to Clevet will be bad because Thrisp will know straight away or something, we don't know. Or we try and find out what's going on with Cavid, and we need more information. We've got too many holes.
Yeah.
My gut tells me
Okay.
cut off Thrisp's head, and
Yeah,
It's all
I'm
good, but-
very much up for that.
I don't want to just run into things and get ourselves killed.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's a well-protected man.
Right?
Um,
And he's got a lot of people in his greasy, cadaverous palms.
that's
So,
right.
what's our objective? Because I think we are of the understanding.
Increase our fee.
Okay, so free.
Yeah.
That's objective.
That's
Okay.
the first objective.
That's the first objective.
Right.
Because if we want to stop this madness, we can just, as Golik says, cut off Thrisp's head, skip town, and be done with this.
Just don't
Or are we-
know if it's going to be quite as simple as
No,
you make
it's
it out.
no. As broad terms, you know,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Thrisp is pretty powerful. Is some kind of blood mage, maybe. But kill Thrisp, end of conspiracy. It's pretty clear he's running things. Or are we trying to unravel everything so we can get some leverage and get some help to do so?
Well, arguably, we were sent here to find out what was
Happening to the
Happening.
volunteers.
For 5 pieces of silver. I mean, no, 30. I know,
30 shared between the
30
three of
crowns,
us.
which is rubbish.
It's
I mean, I wouldn't say no to 10 crowns each, thank you.
Well,
I
offered 50 to each
would
town.
say thank you and where's the rest right now.
Yes.
Right? But also, Kilo saved our lives. And Kilo needs to know what happened to his bride-to-be and get revenge because, you know, you helped us and we'd be dead right now.
Absolutely,
We'd be full
but I
of
also
worms,
don't
maybe.
want-
Oh yeah, we
Our
sure
friend
you
Kilo
are.
here to run up to the castle with a knife in his hand and get himself killed.
We don't want you to get killed too, no. That would be
Kilo has
unfortunate.
Yeah.
been our friend and defender, and it seems only fair we do the same in return by not trying to get you killed.
And I'd really like to, you know, maybe chop off some toes or something. That is also just a side interest.
Sure.
I'd like to plant some potatoes, you see. Sorry, guy.
Kilo, you look like you've been trained by all your life. Like a thrall.
A bit pale there, Kilo.
Right, so we
What if we could sneak into Lodrin Castle?
We could try that.
That would be really good.
No
do
one's
you know
looking
a
at
way?
us.
There are 2 ways that I can think of. One way only you can get in.
Oh,
Is there a
My-
way you've utilised in the
Oh.
past?
my specialist
Oh.
way.
Oh.
Yes,
If we can avoid that, that would be ideal.
That would be
that would
wonderful.
be ideal. We wouldn't fit.
No.
It
And
would
I-
only be you. But once in, you could then open up the sally port,
Oh, right.
which is at the back and is not particularly guarded from my recollection of visiting there on occasion. It's a small back door which we could sneak through.
Oh.
But the grounds are patrolled by the two hounds.
Literal hounds, or
Yes.
Okay, just
Yes,
so.
the mastiffs of Lodron, Cass and Pole.
They've probably got worms in them.
Casson.
Trying to make sure you're not sympathetic to hounds that could kill us on sight.
They
maybe
are
think they've
war
got
hounds.
worms.
They are quite formidable.
Great, yeah, even better. So they'll die honourably if
Did
they're
I
discovered.
say I was sympathetic to the hounds?
I'm merely projecting what I think you might be thinking once I split their heads with my axe. Just to alleviate you of any guilt.
Consider it alleviated.
You're very welcome, pal. What are friends for?
I wouldn't be guilty. I only just don't want. I want to keep sneaky as long as we can.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, of course.
We're currently dead, and
Of
we
course.
should utilize
This is
that
like
to our advantage.
battle prep. The things
Yeah, no,
I think-
and you know what? You've had like a good 24 hours since you last smashed something, and I do appreciate that is something you like to do.
Yes.
And you're good at it. You're so good at it, Charlie.
Thank you.
I'll update the sign. One day since Charlie
Last smashed with axe.
with axe. Yes.
Once you're in the keep, that would be up to you, I guess. I've only ever been into the main hall.
Right, but you must. You grew up. Your father was a guard of a castle. You know how these sorts of places work with the hoi polloi.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Out of the main hall is usually the access way to wherever their private quarters are.
Nice.
Given the shape of the keep, it's probably the rooms directly behind the grand chamber. It's not a huge keep at all. It was originally just a watch house.
Right.
I suppose the other thing that if we're sneaking in, are we sneaking in to find out more? Or are we sneaking in to try and remove the head of the organisation?
Potentially both. If we find out stuff and we can act, that'd be good.
Right.
So we'd need to know that Thrisp was at home somehow.
Yeah. I mean, either way, we're going to find out information, aren't we?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
I am not so good at managing my personal resources. I get really excited and I throw myself into things, and then I get really tired. And I've got a particular favourite spell that I've done 3 whole times today. So I think this is a great idea. I just don't know if I'm going to be as useful as you might like me to be until a bit later.
I would recommend only trying to break into Lodron at night anyway.
Oh, that sounds spooky, mysterious, good.
And
It will go well with the ghost disguises.
10th bell at the moment. It's
Oh.
early in the morning.
Oh, Roy. Oh, God, I really do bad at this shit.
Oh my god. It's a good thing we left.
Wow, garlic.
Wow.
I know.
I just get really into it,
Well, okay, so there is time for resting at some point, but there is also then potentially a little bit of time for if there is some more intel gathering we want to do in town before we...
Whilst remaining dead.
Mm.
I could
Yes.
gather intel
Yes.
on your behalf.
That would be so
That would-
amazing, Kilo.
Be best.
You would be the best at that.
What do you want me to try and find out?
Well, wouldn't it be safe? The person safest for you to talk to would be Clement, right? I mean, it's not unusual for a concerned citizen to talk to the sheriff.
I can talk to him.
Uh,
What about? I asked him if he has worms.
That will rather give the game away.
It would.
Maybe see how he's been feeling with his friendship with Thrisp. Is it draining him somewhat?
Oh god.
I can ask.
I wonder...
I could maybe ask him for the layout of Lodron Keep.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
If you can find a way of asking a reasonable reason, you'd want to know why.
Well, how about this? I mean, you're from a family that are known as gods to Arkenhold Castle. With you being aggrieved of your bride-to-be, you need to occupy your mind and thoughts and days. So perhaps you're thinking of taking up a position at Lodring Castle and wondered if, anything had come their way, Constabulary's way, about them needing gods.
Trying to get your family's reputation back.
Aye, that's another angle.
Oh, you don't necessarily know that your bride-to-be might not be to be. So...
Oh, yes.
You could also, be excited about that, perhaps. And you want to forge a good life for her, or whatever it is that you humans do.
He does look a bit miserable.
Oh.
Because he's like, I probably should have done that when she told me that she was coming here, because then I would actually be able to have provided for her. But I suppose that's not a problem anymore. So I will go with that line. Yes. In the meantime, I suppose you could take turns in the bed, or...
I'm alright on the floor. It's a human-sized bed.
Yes.
Oh, that looks like a lovely tea cosy I can snuggle into.
Bed's all mine.
All right, so Kilo goes off to go.
Does that work for us?
Discover what's going on, and he's pretty dedicated to this idea. So Kilo is going to really spend some time there. What are you doing whilst he is away?
Hey, can you do any sort of investigation on the worm? Have you got any?
I do not have investigation type skills.
Oh,
I do
right.
have arcane lore as a skill.
Mm-hmm.
We could do some experimentation with the worm.
Right.
Okay.
We could.
I've
got a really bad idea.
Go on.
I've got.
Have I heard
the
the
geese.
geese in the garden?
Oh, no.
No, the geese are there.
Oh, man. Yeah, do it. Do it. We've not learnt anything. Go on.
No. Are there any
What
other animals around?
What if Kilo really loves his geese as well? Like,
I
we
mean,
can't.
Foxes exist in this world.
I don't know if there's a convenient fox around.
Fox is wandering around. Yeah, unfortunately, it's geese. That's
geese.
pretty much all you can see. There is a sparrow when you look out the window, but you are in a little alleyway in the village. Going outside is going to be risky. The geese at least are on the back.
Yeah.
Right. And like all
We could get out to the
English
geese and
back
not be
gardens, it was
spotted.
surrounded by a little wall from
Yeah.
your neighbours. Yeah.
I wonder if we do a little experiment with the worm?
I think it's worth it.
I'll pull the worm out. How's the worm looking? Is it still...
It's barely moving at the bottom of the jar.
Oh, it's
dying.
looking a bit... It's looking a bit
It needs
hungry.
a host.
It does.
Do it.
Okay. I'm going to go into the garden.
Oh my god.
Right.
Is there any goose food around in the house to entice them
grain.
over?
Yeah,
some grain.
there is a bag of grain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little handful of grain.
Charlie took some grain.
Yeah.
Where are you standing?
I am staying inside and I'm looking at what these two are doing
All right.
from the
It's
window.
the giant geese in your case. And some of the geese are actually taller than you are.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they didn't like this look at me the other
No.
day, so I'm watching.
Mm.
But I will, as you go out, be like, try and single one of them so they don't all.
Is anyone worm?
Yep.
Well, you don't
For
know
now.
how they multiply.
Oh gosh.
They might be like potatoes.
Where is Charlie standing?
Oh gosh. I'm going to be fairly close to you. I won't be on your back. Maybe 10 feet away from you, just in case.
Okay, you have
Bizarro
the jar
goose.
with the worm
Jar with a worm.
and some grain, and you have 12 heads looking at you.
I'm going to scatter the grain quite widely to try and separate the geese out.
All right.
So they're not
That's
all
quite
squabbling
smart.
over one
Yeah.
bit of
They
grain.
start going after the grain. They
Yeah.
recognise what that is. Yeah, they're used to it.
Is
They put it
there-
in their trough, but they'll go after them.
Is there a sickly looking goose that looks like it's on its
Oh,
last
no.
legs? is there a goose that's like,
Oh my
it's not long for this world
So-
anyway?
That would be a luck that you're hoping for, and that's combined with your heroic point. So if you spend a heroic point,
Oh.
you will find a sickly goose. You've got to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Do you ever get your heroic points back?
Yes, you do. If you do something amazing or wonderful,
Oh.
or you sleep the night. You are heading into an 8-hour rest.
Yeah, that's true. Let's burn my heroic
All
point
right,
on a
there is
sickly
a
goose.
sickly-looking goose It doesn't look great.
I will more grain around to keep the others distracted.
They are.
Some grain for that one.
Yes. Okay.
Cork off.
Yes.
If I hold the maggot near, like, the
So
body of the
you're gonna
goose,
pour the
does
maggot
it
out
look-
into your hand.
No.
So it's still in the bottle.
It's still in the bottle.
Just gonna guide it out.
Just gonna. It's looking pretty at the bottom
It's
of
not
the.
moving very much. Yeah. Its little tentacles in the front are sort of.
Tentacles. It has tentacles.
Does Kilo have any like gardening gloves around?
Just tip it out.
No.
No.
Just tip it out onto the grain.
Yeah,
Or just eat it.
but is it gonna jump into my hand?
No, it's
When I
dying.
lift it.
Like, just chuck it out. And
Okay.
Charlie saves like, from a distance.
I'm going to.
Just drop it. Just let go.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna. It's in a glass jar near the goose.
Uh-huh.
Drop the glass jar from a couple of feet.
Okay. All right. The jar, very luckily, breaks. The worm sort of immediately looks up. It looks over at you, and then the goose just swallows it whole.
I will now watch the goose.
Hopefully the glass didn't shrug its throat.
No, it's yeah. It's yeah. The goose looks at you, and then it goes on pecking at the grain for a few seconds, and then suddenly it looks back up at you.
Charlie gets his axe ready.
Charlie gets his axe ready.
Oh my gosh.
All right. And what are you prepared to do?
I mean, I want
Or are
to.
you just watching?
I want to see what it's gonna do.
Okay. All
I
right.
want to see what it's gonna do, and if what it's gonna do is attack me, that is a price we're gonna pay.
For science.
For science.
For science. Yeah. So the goose looks at you, and it almost seems to burp slightly. And then its whole neck just reaches out, and its beak opens and continues to open.
Ah!
And these tentacles are coming out of its throat as it attacks you, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is entirely fair.
Yep.
That is what it's
I have
doing.
opened myself up to this possibility.
Perfect.
Uh-oh.
But at least you are now aware of what's going on. So the goose is going in the first round.
Yep.
Anybody else want to act in the first phase?
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. We'll
Alright.
pay the cost.
I love that you're fighting a goose. In Ben's character in those small roles
I hadn't even thought
has
of
a
that.
companion
Has a
goose.
companion goose who he loves.
Who he
And in this one,
loves.
oh no.
No.
Oh no, this one I do
Screw them
experiments
goose,
on
yo.
geese.
Oh,
And then attack them.
Okay.
This is the anti-orange.
Aggie is not pleased with
Aggie's
you.
crying somewhere.
Okay, so the goose is going to attack you with its
Killer
maw,
goose.
and geese have teeth, so
very
that was
nice.
before the worm. So that's what it's going to do. Charlie, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna cut its head off with my axe.
So you're going to rush across and try and
Rush
fix it.
across and hit it.
Okay, and Blaze, what are you going to try and do?
Let's hit the goose with a magic bolt, please.
Okay, all right. All these things will happen at the same time because that's how it works. So the killer goose strikes you, and it will bite you, and the killer goose does 5 points of damage.
What?
This is a
Yeah.
nasty goose.
Whoa.
Because what happens is it bites at your arm, its beak clamps around its arm, around your arm, and then you can feel the tentacles sort of licking at the wounds whilst its mouth is still held on to you. So it's sort of
Like it's drinking blood.
yeah. Charlie.
Cool. It's 3 AP to attack with the axe.
Yes.
I'm gonna spend an extra 2 for damage.
Very nice.
Screw this goose and it's gonna try and cut his head off.
How much damage did you?
So that's 7, I think.
7. Brilliant. You slam into this goose. It's got no protection whatsoever.
Great.
Your axe buries itself into its wing. It lets go of your arm.
Ow!
It honks in pain, but it's still standing. What are you doing?
So 2 AP for my magic bolts,
Yes.
which with my magically attuned will do 5 AP damage.
5 AP damage. Brilliant. How does it die?
Oh, I think it's going to. I think I want to be able to look at the body afterwards.
Right.
So I think actually Blaze is used to controlling magical energy. So I think it's quite a controlled. You've hit it with an axe, presumably on its neck.
On a wing.
On the shoulder, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can, with my arcane bolts, just slice cleanly through the neck.
Sure, absolutely, not a problem.
Carving up a goose for
Decapitate
Christmas.
this. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
The body slumps to the floor, and almost instantly you can see that little worm ooze out of the body. It definitely seems a lot more rejuvenated than it was going in.
I don't have magic to pick up the worm into a bottle.
Magic.
Is there a plant pot around?
Yeah, because we smashed the bottle.
Yeah, so there is a pot plant. It doesn't look very healthy.
Empty out the pot plant. Can I whack the pot on top of the
Yes,
worm?
you can. And then you both realise that the underside of pot plants always have a hole in them to allow for draining. But the pot plant is this tall, and the hole's at the top, and the worm is only about that long. So you don't think, unless it can climb the inside of the pot, that it's going to get out anytime soon.
Problem solved for the moment.
You are seeing these two standing around a pot plant.
Yeah, what
and
does
then
the body look
11
like?
geese standing around them, looking at them and the pot plant.
Does it look like there's any more worms coming out of
No.
the goose that they've killed? Okay. Maybe kill the worm? Shout through the window pane.
I was wondering about keeping it for evidence, but I think maybe we've done our job with this one now.
Yeah,
Charlie, if I lift up the pot plant, would you mind stamping on this thing?
Of course.
I will. Can I kick the pot plant over?
You can.
As soon as I see it tip over,
Squash. You squash it flat.
Okay. That's
Okay.
Got a
That's
bit of a. Oh, that's got a bite to it.
I.
Actually,
yes.
sorry. Yeah. How much damage did it do to
5.
me? Did it do it to me or to my armor? Or
Probably. Well, it'll go to your armor first. Yeah.
So actually, sorry, I've just
you've still got
realised
5 left.
the armor is
Kaput.
Shredded. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Might need to borrow some skills.
Right.
Right.
So we learnt a little bit. Maybe Olivia wasn't a mage, but it was the parasite. Thirsty for blood.
That's true. This goose
Bit your arm.
bit my arm and looks like it was trying to have some lunch.
Yes. How do you feel?
How do I feel?
Slightly shaken, but it didn't drain anything from
Yeah.
you.
I think we've got it in time.
Right.
I don't feel different in myself. I don't think there's any worms in there.
Okay. Right. Okay. We've
I
got.
feel fine.
Okay. Good.
Should you bury the goose or something, or incinerate it, or
We should get rid of the evidence.
we're gonna have to tell him. But we'll tell him it was all part of the mission. It was part of the mission.
I don't know if we can swing this one. I don't know. We're asking a lot of him at the
God, we've
moment.
ruined that pot plant as well.
Right.
And killed his goose. So
We're trying to find out more information to help.
I've got an idea.
yes,
We could cook it.
you want to cook the satanic goose? I mean the evil infected goose. I mean
We should probably
our goose is
find out
cooked.
if this has done anything to the. It would be an interesting experiment to find out if it's done anything.
We should cut
to
it
the
open
innards
and
of the
see
goose,
what it
so
looks
we
like
should cut it
inside.
open
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we shouldn't.
But we don't have to cook it. We can bisect it.
I'm just thinking
I
of
think we should
excuses.
dissect it. I don't think we should eat it necessarily.
Yes.
He might want to eat it, but I don't think anybody should eat it because it had the worm in it. Who knows? The worm might have quickly laid eggs or something.
That's true, but
True.
we will find out if we.
We
cut
should
it.
definitely dissect. If it has eggs, we should definitely dissect.
Yes,
the
we can learn
goose.
stuff.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm saying all this from the window. I'm not going out near the geese.
Right.
I can't believe this is happening.
I will feed the geese a little bit more. Just so the rest of them are all happy.
All right, excellent.
Charlie's going to chop the goose in half.
You just chop it in half.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your
we-
medicine or nature check? You got loads of those, right?
No.
But he has got loads of AP.
I got melee combat.
Pay you a heroic point.
Yeah,
to
Blaze
give you,
just watches this
skill.
goose get cut in half with an axe and goes,
yeah, I'll do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right. So how much? Well, what are you looking to use? Medicine or nature? Nature will tell you if something's odd.
Yeah.
Medicine will tell you more about the nature of the goose, its ailments, and that sort of thing.
Nature. I'd only be distracted if this goose had cancer in its liver or something.
Right.
So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So how many points are you spending?
Screw it. Those 3.
3?
Yep.
Fair enough. With 3, having cut the goose open, and it's lying there in a sort of a bloody mess.
making such a mess of this.
Yes.
This guy's done.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
You can see that its crop has looks about 9 or 10 little round white eggs.
Oh, dear.
Very small. They're literally the size of the bubble on top of a pin bead. So they're not very big. Certainly could have come out of the worm. Certainly doesn't seem like it's eaten them from anywhere else. You can also see that there is a puncture wound in the throat about worm size. And the throat itself has mutated into like these tendrils which we're trying to reach out.
Oh.
Yeah. The tendrils all end in these little round mouths.
Oh dear. That was really fast. It swallowed the worm, and within seconds it laid eggs and mutated the goose. This
We need to be
is
very careful.
the
with
most
these
dangerous
words.
thing I've ever seen.
Yes. These are fast acting.
We should burn this thing. Do I know if the eggs are like still incubating?
Well, they're just little round eggs.
Yeah.
By the looks of things, it's not a hard shell; it's a soft shelled egg.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So, I mean, you could literally pop these between your fingers.
I'll pop it with the end of the axes.
All right. Yep. You smoosh them all. Not a problem at all.
It's not good.
This is not
awful.
good.
What if the worms are coming from the dragon carcass, being as dead as long as it has? Maggots surely have formed in over 170 years, and that's what's infesting people and animals. They're sentient, intelligent worms. I mean, Olivia had full conversations with us. I was knitting. The worms were knitting.
I wonder whether they had taken control of her mind, or
Or was it symbiosis? Do I know that word?
Charlie,
I know.
you know that
Charlie's
word.
suddenly a scientist. Some of a scientist myself.
Congratulations. It's the horse was walking along normally. When we first got in the carriage, the two horses both looked like normal, happy horses.
Well,
Thinking back
as far as
to-
carriage horses
as
can
far
be
as
happy, but
carriage
yes.
horses go.
Yeah.
Happy is maybe too strong a word, but regular.
The driver, you think back, was just a regular human driver who may or may not have had a bit more scarf wrapped around him than before. It was only once he was dead that you noticed bite marks on his neck and his.
So we don't know
100%.
whether the horse was already infected before it left, or whether it
True.
became. We've now seen how quickly the infection can act, so it's possible the infection happened shortly before
Yes.
Kilo turned up,
Yes.
or it's possible this horse was infected a long time ago. And Olivia, we don't know whether the infection is something she's, as you say, working in
Yeah.
tandem with.
That's
You know, got a logic point. Go for it. Yeah.
no. I was going to say that's something we haven't asked Kilo. How did he know to get rid of the horses? Why does he get trying to uncouple the horses?
Yes.
And how are we going to get to Allswatch if he was uncoupling the second horse when Garlic tied him up? So why would he do that in the middle of the waste? And it'd be a long bloody walk. That's something we haven't asked him.
He said, I feel like he said,
He has worms. He has
we got to have someone to trust.
He has worms. He's the mastermind.
Was there, before the goose bit me, was there any outward indication of transformation on the goose before its mouth opened up and turned into a toothy
So
maw?
within seconds, it mutated. That's
Yeah.
insane.
But if anyone has logic, you can spend a point of logic.
Yeah.
Go for it,
I
mate.
mentioned it.
I will spend logic.
Thinking about the horse, this goose, you put one worm in,
Mm-hmm.
it automatically laid eggs. When you cut its head off, one worm came out.
Yeah.
When you cut the head of the horse off,
Lots of worms
lots
came
of
out.
worms came out. So that means it probably had an infection of
very-
worms for quite some time.
That's a very good point I just had.
Yes.
The magic
Thank
of role-playing
I
games.
know, I know.
Someone else can be intelligent on your behalf. My character can be better than me.
Yes. Wonderful.
Blaze explains his thought.
Oh, okay, right.
So the horse had been
You are
infected
so
some
clever.
time. Yeah. And a lot of worms came out of Olivia as well, didn't they? So Olivia had also been infected. This wasn't a sudden...
Maybe
No.
the more intelligent the host in the first place, the more intelligent the worm has, or the worms, wormage has capacity to be.
Or the worm sits there in the background waiting for the moment to act.
Perhaps.
Not directly affecting its host's mind. Until lunch comes along.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to grow and spread. So
But
it needs to be
Olivia, like her mouth never opened up and tendrils never appeared from her. She was just stabbing people with knitting needles.
I mean, we killed her pretty quick.
We did, but she did have ample opportunity
To eat us.
to attempt. To
Oh,
eat
we're not
us.
3-on-1. She was outnumbered.
She still attempted to stab me with knitting needles.
Yeah, when the jig was up by then.
When the jig was up, she could have opened her mouth and
Nom,
tried
nom,
to
nom.
nom nom nom, as they say in Allswatch.
Sorry, our boy is suddenly sus to me. And Kilo is suddenly sus to me. Switches driver mid carriage, carries on. What? I'm sorry.
I'm sure he said something about why he'd uncoupled the first horse.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did
I
he?
didn't write it
Did
down.
he?
I didn't write it down, unfortunately.
He was definitely trying to help. Well, he said he was trying to help.
Well, we'll find out whether he was or wasn't trying to help when we return next week.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Put in the comments how we can solve this.
What do Yeah. you
You're all
think
cleverer
is
than
going
us.
on?
Probably figured out
We're
the
not
whole
getting
mystery.
anywhere with this.
Yeah.
Right. Blaze, favourite moment?
Oh, that's a good question. What's my favourite moment?
Honk.
From okay. I mean, that's up there. That's got to be up there.
Oh gosh.
Horrendous vampire goose. Instant transformation of tendril goose. But I think favourite moment is Charlie's medicine check taking the form of cutting a goose in half with an axe.
Yes.
I think that's my favourite
I
moment.
wouldn't
That's
recommend
like
going to Charlie
how you
for
conduct a
medicine.
medicine check.
Yeah.
You whack it in half with
So,
an
put it
axe.
off. See what happens.
It's very classic
And-
medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
The joy of this game system is it works.
I could have been a surgeon. Yeah. Could have been a surgeon. Yeah.
Could have been. Could have been.
Yes.
All right. Until we see you again next week, remember to check out the links down below to find where these lovely people have their podcast. And we will be back next week. Till then, goodbye.
Bye.